start చేయొచ్చు సార్.
చేశాను.
So today we'll discuss about pretext invoices here. So pretext invoice is nothing but, see, in accounts payable, whenever you receive any invoice from the vendor, we'll update those records and details in invoice journal, right? But here in accounts receivable, we, instead of invoice journal, we'll use it as a pretext invoice. So to create any invoice, let's say if you have sold products to any of your customers, or if you have given some services to your customers, you'll have to generate one invoice, right? And for that invoice, since it is a revenue for us, we'll have to post a journal entry, like similar to, let's say, if you have entered some, if you have rendered some services to TCS, you either will give it as a TCS or AR as a summary account. Two, it's a revenue for us, right? Let's say some IT training you have done. We will create multiple revenue accounts. Let's say for IT, we have created one account. So this should be the journal entry. So in order to create a journal entry for this one, we'll have to update all the details in free text invoices here. So let me just quickly create one example. In accounts payable, it will be invoice journal, and in accounts receivable, we'll call it as a free text invoice. And even in accounts receivable also, for sales order, we need not to create any invoice separately. So by default, as per the process, that's a different. This is for the non-PO, non products related services. Like for service related or anything, you can create a pretext invoice. So let me quickly create an account. So the navigation will be accounts receivable. Under invoices, we have all pretext invoices, open customer, and also we have something called as recurring invoices, that we'll discuss once we create this pretext invoices here. So click on all pretext invoices. Okay. So before creating all, okay, I'll explain. Just click on new, and then we'll select the customer account. Let's say, let me select this TCS customer. Okay. And these fields are not mandatory. If you have, you can update all the details here, like terms of payment, method of payment. And as per the journal entry, we are supposed to give revenue account as a credit, right? So this is a main account, that is revenue IT services, or whichever, if you have any other revenue account, you can give it over there. So under invoice lines, if you have multiple revenue accounts, or if you wanted to split this revenue to multiple lines, you can click on the add line. Or else in our example, only one revenue account we have, it, that is revenue IT account. So let's see if there is any other main account. So we have one account that is already created, revenue on account. We'll use this one. Now we should have multiple revenue accounts.
శ్రీనివాస్ వన్ సెకండ్ ఒక్క నిమిషం లైన్ లాగాలని. శ్రీనివాస్ మళ్ళీ చెప్పవా? సారీ, డోర్ బెల్ ఎవరో కొట్టారు.
Huh. So here we'll have to select the revenue account here. So as per the journal entry, TCS account data or accounts receivable account data to revenue account, right? So we'll have to select the revenue account here. So let me give it as a IT services here. Description you can give it as an IT services, and quantity I have entered one, and the unit price is 1,000 rupees. So as you see, quantity doesn't mean that it should be a physical quantity. Even for services also, you can use the same fields. Like if you have given for some 5 days or 10 days or daily basis, if you're charging, you can just measure as per your requirement. Unit price is also, it is not. I mean, it doesn't mean that it is related only for the products. It is a general column that is quantity and unit price. You can use it for services also. So here, let me assume that for IT, we have provided for 1 day, that is 1,000 rupees we are charging for the customer. So in the description, I'll update it as an IT services, and the main account I've selected the revenue account. So these are few fields. Also, there is an option called distribute amounts. If you click on the distribute amounts, you can even you can distribute these amounts to multiple business units or any cost centers. Let's say, let me show you. If you click on the distribute amounts, okay. So here we have multiple options, that is ledger account, percentage, amount, currency. Let me give you an example here. Okay, assume that you have two departments in your office. That is one sales and marketing, and one more is IT department, or let's say some finance department. So this revenue, whatever you are receiving, right? If you want to split it to sales and marketing and finance, both like 50-50. So in our example, let's take this as 1,000 rupees, right? And if you want to split this, revenue to these two departments, then we can give it as a, what will be the amount here?
500, 500.
500, 500, 500. So it will be 500, 500, right? So if you want to achieve this journal entry, I mean, it won't impact any journal entry here. It will just split the amount here, but total it will go to the revenue. But for our identification purpose, whenever you pull report of the sales and marketing, right, you can see this 500 separately. But if you pull revenue report, you can still see the 1,000 rupees only. So if you want to allocate or distribute this revenue to these two departments, we have an option called split. Also, you can decide the percentage, what percentage if you want to go, like 50 or 75, 25, anything. So in our example, we have considered it as an 50 percentage rate. So let me give it as a 50. Also here, business unit, what is the business unit that I'm looking for, or else department? Sales and marketing. Let me select the sales and marketing. Again, under sales and marketing, if you have any cost centers like trade shows, marketing campaign, maybe because of marketing campaign we have received this revenue, you can allocate to that one. And products, if you have anything, you can, it is not mandatory. All these options are there. uh, and what about the next 50%? We have to allocate it for finance department, right? So let me give it as a, for finance, where is finance? Yes. Again, in finance, if you have, we can see there are two: procurement, administration. Let's say if you want to give for administration, you can select this administration. Now, the amount has been, the revenue has been distributed equally for two departments. That is for finance and sales and marketing, 50-50. Let's say if you give it has some 75, 25, so it will take accordingly. 75, 25 or anything as per your requirement. You can click that. And we have an option called distribute equally also. If you click on distribute equally, by default it will pick up 50% for this one. And you can click on save. Here in the distributed by fields, we have there's a drop down here. You can either go by percentage, amount, quantity, or anything. So if you want to go by amount, you can click on the amount here, or else if you can even click on the percentage here. So based on the requirement, if you want to split it as per the quantity, or you can even select the quantity also. Now click on save. And if you want to add one more line, let's say apart from IT services, if you have given some training also, then you can add one more line, and you can, if there is a separate main account that is revenue account for training services, you can give that one, or any other services. Multiple lines you can add, and for all the lines you can even distribute them also. As I mentioned here, the revenue, if you pull the report of this revenue account, you can still see only 1,000 rupees. But whenever you want to like drill down transactions, like how much revenue has been generated for sales and marketing, finance, then you can pull a separate report using a financial dimension sets, that is for sales, marketing, finance. There you can see this 500, 500. Also, if there is any attachment, like if you have given some proof or a document receipt or anything, then you can attach that one by clicking on the notes and document attachments. Even here also, invoice text, you can mention anything, all the details are here. Reasons, if you have any reason code, you can mention the reason code here. So like goodwill, please enter a comment right off. If it is something related to foreign trade, you can enter the financial dimensions. We have just given, right, that is for finance and sales and marketing. Even here also you can mention same thing, department, sales and marketing, finance. Even here, if you mention here, it will directly, you cannot, this is not meant for splitting the revenue amount. It will go only for one department. You do not see whatever here we have 50, we have given 50-50, right, for two departments. But here you have only one option, either only one department you can select, or one cost center, one business unit you can select. But since we have already given in the distribute amounts, it is not necessary for you to give here in the financial dimensions. If you are giving only for one business unit, then instead of split, you can give it here. So since we have entered almost all the details here, now we'll try to click on the post here. And there's one more option, one time customer. If it is a one time customer, you can click on this one. And here ensure that under posting, enable this option as an yes. By default, it will be yes only, but check once again, because it will once it is enabled as, then only you should be able to post the journal entry. And the credit limit type, let us give it as a none, because we haven't given any credit limit for this customer, right? You can give it as a none, so that irrespective of what the credit, it will allow you to post any of the invoices. And this is something related to print. If you want, you can enable this option to this. Also, if you want to make this revenue, let's say if you are giving these revenue services, it's a recurring services, like every month or weekly ones or daily basis. If you want to generate this invoice, instead of doing it manually, we have an option called recurrence here. If you click on the recurrence, you can select the start date, start time, and there's an end after here. Let's say if you want to generate this invoice like monthly basis, you can select the end date here. Let's say from August 1st to, you wanted to generate till 2023 August 1st. Recurrence pattern it is asking, like if you want to go for monthly ones, you can select this monthly ones. Repeat a specific day. Since you have selected months, right, we'll give it as a 30 days here. That means for every 30 days. Here even so like let's say in monthly, if you want to generate two invoices, then you can give it as a 15 years, so that every 15 days, that means in a month you can generate two invoices. Or if there is a specific weekday, if it falls, you see, if you give it as a 30, irrespective of weekday or weekend, it will generate an invoice. But if you want to generate it only on the weekdays, if you want to generate it only on the weekdays, you can select this option, like first Monday of every month or first Tuesday of every month. We have multiple options such here. So in this example, let me not give it as an any recurrence here. Click on cancel. Yeah, now click on OK. Let me see what is the error here. No posting definition exists for the transaction type. Hmm. Let me see what is the error here. In general ledger, we have a posting definitions. Yes, as expected, that is the reason. Let's see. Accounting rules to use posting definitions. Yes, we have given and we have enabled this option. Let me close this one. Okay, now we'll try to post it here. Yes, now it is posted. So ensure that in general ledger parameters, if you give this option as a posting definitions, you will have to create some posting definitions. Even that also we have somewhere, it should be here only. Yes, under posting setup, you have a posting definitions. For the timing, you just flag this off to no. Now we'll quickly go to the, yes, now the pretext invoice has been posted, right? But as per the general, we are supposed to see the general entry, right? Now click on the invoice. Under what accounting, you can see the journal entry. That is, click on view accounting. Yes, customer balance is nothing but the accounts receivable, because the posting type is we given it as a customer balance, and since it is a revenue, right? So that's the reason revenue has been split to two different departments, that is business units. One is for sales and marketing, and this is for finance one. So if you want to see the voucher, that also will see. It should be. Let me click on the invoice journal here. Yes. So this is the invoice here. So invoice number by default it has been created, but you can even change the format also in accounts receivable parameters under number sequences. You can go for the invoice and you can create a new number sequence over there. And let me see the voucher here. Yeah. So this is a voucher. Accounts receivable account at R2, revenue account. And the posting type is customer balance and customer revenue. Because in customer posting profile, we have given the summary account as an accounts receivable. So let me quickly show you that also once. So it will be same similar to accounts payable posting profiles here. Under setup, we have a customer posting profiles here. We can create two posting profiles. One is for general and prepayment. For general, let me select all this for all the customers instead of if you similarly we have options like table. If you want to give a separate revenue account for each customer, you can give that one, or even for group also you can give. Let me not do that one. So here already we have given summary a summary account, that is accounts receivable. That's the reason in the journal entry we took it as a accounts receivable here. So this for prepayment they have given a separate main account, that is for accounts receivable, sorry, customer deposits. So anyway, we will try to create a separate posting profile. I mean, separate journal entries for prepayment related examples. Yeah. So this is a free text invoice, and if you want to reverse any of these transactions, we have an option under reverse transaction. You can give the name, or if you want to give any reason comment, you can give it over here. Else it is not reversed. If you click on the reverse, this entry will get reversed. You can even see view subledger journal also. So subledger journal is nothing but the posting type, under which posting type it has to be for. Yeah. So you can even see the view distributions. Same whatever we have given, right, distributed, that can be seen over here. And if there are any charges, you can even add those charges. I mean, initially, not here. While posting the invoice itself, you have to click on the charges. But since we have not given any charges, it is not showing anything. Yeah. So if you are clear with this free text invoices, we'll go for the recurring invoices. So for these recurring invoices, first we'll have to create a templates. Let's say on every month you're receiving a rent income from one of your customer regularly on the same date, same timings, everything. Like same amount also. Let's say for next 1 year, you have entered an agreement, or any, not only rent, if you're providing any other services, or if you want to receive any product, any amount from one such customer, you can create multiple such recurring services invoice templates. So the navigation would be same accounts receivable. Under invoices, we have a separate option called recurring invoices. First we'll have to create a templates, that is free text invoice templates, and then we'll have to generate, and then we'll have to click on the post. So these are the step by step. So first we'll have to create a free text invoice templates here. Now click on free text invoices here. Already we have four such templates. Like for labor, let's say if you're receiving, if you're providing some labor services to your customers, every month if you want to receive some fixed amount or some on date wise, then you can give this amount. So we'll try to create a new template. Let's say if you're providing some IT services and every month you have to receive some amount. The recipient, you can give the recipient, like this is an employee, like who, which employee is responsible for this one. If there is an employee, you can specify that employee. And the posting profile, we'll give it as a general posting profile. And if you want to specify any terms of payment, method of payment, all these things you can mention over here. Even if it is if there is any financial dimension, business unit, cost center, you can apply over there. And the revenue account, for which revenue account you wanted to link this particular template. Let's see how many revenue accounts we have. We have only one revenue account. We'll give it as a revenue account here. In the IT services, we'll give it as a IT services in the description. Let's say every month you wanted to receive some 5,000 rupees from TCS. We'll give it as a one description. So this format will be same like a pre-text invoice only, but it will be a template here. And if there are any other details over here, you can click on this one. Also, we have an option called copy. If you click on the copy, you can create a duplicate one, like multiple two templates you can create here. And if you want to add any charges, you can add the charges also, like any other handling or anything. Assigned customers. See, this is important because we have to assign customers, right? Here you have already created the template, but if you assign the customer, then only you can see the assigned in this assigned customers, like what all customers you were supposed to receive this revenue from. The only those customers will be shown here. So we have just created the IT services as a template, right? Now we'll have to assign this template to TCS customer. So to assign this TCS customer as a this template, so we'll quickly go to the all customers. So let's say for TCS you wanted to assign this one, right? The template. Just select this customer and click on invoice. Under setup, under invoice, in this action pan under invoice, we have a setup. Under setup, click on the recurring invoices. Yeah. So for this customer, I have already allocated. I mean, I have already linked two templates. That is for rent and labor. Now we'll try to give the separate one. That is IT services. We have two options. One is yes and no. Like you want to make it as an active, yes. And the template, what is the template we are supposed to select? IT services. Let me select that one. And the billing start date, let me give it as a Jan 1st. From Jan 1st only we have started. So let me select it as a Jan 1st. And if you have entered an agreement for, let's say, for next 1 year, you can give it the billing end date as a next 1 year. By end date, what is the next date? Jan 1st, 2023. If you do not want to, if there is no end date, you can click enable this option. And also we have two options, like in is one is billing end date, and one more is maximum cumulative amount. Let's say if you have entered any agreement with this customer for maximum 1 lakh in an year, irrespective of, see, while generating the invoice, you can even edit the amount. Let's say, for example, for 1 year, if you have entered a maximum amount of 1 lakh, that you will be receiving maximum 1 lakh from this customer. So on every monthly basis, if you're charging some 10,000 rupees in the invoice for 10 months itself, uh, the 1 lakh will be completed, right? Then recurring billing will stop. So whichever is earlier, like either billing end date should be earlier or the maximum cumulative amount should be earlier. Because it like monthly sometimes it is not necessary that 10, 10, in case if you're giving some extra services to them or extra for any products or anything, you might charge 15,000, 20,000, or there are chances even within 2 3 months only you can complete this 1 lakh target, right? So in that case, the recurring will stop for the next 3 months itself. So whichever is earlier, either billing end date should be earlier or maximum cumulative amount which it will take. And we have one more option, that is free text invoice template. So we have created one template, right? If you want to create an invoice as per that one only, you can select this as a free text invoice template. And the recurrence, how frequently you wanted to generate. So as I mentioned, in case if you're giving some weekly, daily, or yearly, you can create that one. Let's say monthly basis, I want to generate this one. And what is the frequency? And this is a pattern, like monthly, and like within how many days? Like monthly, uh, you know, every month if you want to generate, then you can give it as a 1 year. Or if you want to generate this as a quarterly once, then you can give it as a 4 year. Or like 2 months once, 3 months once, you can give as per the requirement. Let me give it as a monthly once here. So these fields, if you are clear, then we'll click on save. So we have entered an agreement for 1 year that will be providing IT services to this customer. Also every month we'll be sending an invoice to this customer. Now let me click on save. So first step is we have to create a template. That is done. And we'll go to the next step, that is we'll have to generate a recurring invoice. Now click on recurring, generate recurring invoices. See, we have entered an agreement from January 1st only, right? From January 1st 2022. So if you want to generate an invoice for the month of January, you can select the month of January 1st. Generation date, you can give today's date itself, that's not a problem. And the template, you're providing some IT services. So even though you haven't allocated all these services like like IT, labor, rent. Now we are generating for IT services, right? You can select the IT services. Click on select, and the records to include. Since we have given this, recurring invoice template only for one customer, that's the reason it is by default it is showing only one customer. Let's say if you are giving for multiple customers, all those customers will be shown under the filter. You will have to select here. Click on the filter. This option will be by default. You can select multiple customers here. Like if you click on this drop down, there's a plus symbol over here. You can select the customers. Like multiple customers, you can add select by clicking on add here. Okay. And the recurrence will still work for the same, like we have just discussed it, right? So by default, even the timings also will be there. So the invoice will get generated over there. Now let me click on OK. Recurring invoice has been successfully generated. So now you have generated the recurring invoice for the month of January 2022. So once you generate the recurring invoice, you will have to click on the post recurring invoices. Now you click on the post recurring invoices. What is the invoice date? That is January 1st, right? So this is the invoice that we have just generated. Yeah. Even though we have generated it for January 1st, the reason why it is showing as a 8 till date, because whatever the invoices because we are supposed to generate these invoices till date, right? So if you select the previous date, then till now, if there are any pendings, all those months will be calculated here. Only for 1 month, If you want to select even the generation date also, you have to give it in the January 1st itself. We have given the generation date as a today's date. That's the reason invoice date to till generation date. If there are any gaps, all those invoices will be picked up here. So till from January to till August, 8 invoices got generated here. Now you can select, you can click on the post here. First, if you want, you can click on the validate, and then you can click on the post. Okay. So it has been added to batch queue. So backend it will take some time to post it over there. So once if it is posted, you can see here the posted status from no to it will change to yes. Yeah. So this is about the invoice templates. First step is to create invoice templates and then generate and then post recurring invoices. And all pre-text invoices you can see here. There are a lot of invoices are there. So all these will get posted. If it is in since they're in batch queue, it will get posted. So once the invoice gets posted, you can click on the invoice and you can see the same process. Under invoice, you can see the under accounting, you can see the journal entry. So we are done with the pre-text invoice templates, and then we'll go for the sales order and then journal entries.
ఇది ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకొని శ్రీనివాస్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత సేల్స్ ఆర్డర్ చెప్దు కానీ